That was good, baby.
Was that good? Good.
That was great. It was great. It was the greatest clap.
I said, wow.
Anyways, yo, boys. It's us. The Overkill podcast. I'm here with my boy Meta.
What's up?
And I am Kirby. We're gonna be this week's gonna be pretty spicy. To start off with, we'll have some Call of Duty news. The COD servers were having some issues yesterday. They were resetting players back to level 1, and I believe they also were having issues where it was removing the skill-based matchmaking. So it was like you were playing regular matchmaking again. So a lot of people were like, oh, cool, now we can actually play the game. But, of course, you were playing at, like, level 1. So it was like, it was weird. I don't know what happened yesterday. Some people are thinking it was some sort of security breach with the Call of Duty servers, which I wouldn't be surprised. Because, they barely care about their game, so why would they care about their security? So, what do you think, Caleb? Meta?
Of course it's, I just, you can only polish a turd so much, and obviously you and I haven't been too high on COD in quite a while, so I'm just not too surprised at this, but also, it's kind of par for the course. I don't know about them being hacked. I'm more inclined to believe it's something that they fucked up with, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, some people are speculating that too. It could be that. We really don't know what happened yesterday. I don't think they're even going to say anything on it. I don't think they would really comment on it.
No, they wouldn't.
Probably just try to sweep it under the rug and fix it if they can.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just not surprised. I haven't been on COD in a while. When did you play last?
I didn't play last night because I think the servers were still messed up. I didn't want to get reset. I'm sure I've gotten reset, but
Damn, imagine being a normie, just getting your ass reset like that.
Yeah, I just played Battlefield yesterday. So I think the last time I played it was Thursday or Wednesday. Yeah, it wasn't. I haven't played it in a little bit. I took a little break.
You're like, wow. Okay. I don't know. I'm just not surprised. I don't really know if there's too much to talk about regarding this one, to be honest with you. It's just kind of like, it's fucked up. And who's surprised? No one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think our next one will be a little more spicy.
Yeah, certainly. Just to be 100p. Yeah, I'm just not surprised.
Yeah.
Anyways, in other news, Glad has come out with a report on gaming to let all you bigots know that you should die in a fire. They have stated in this report that 1 in 5 active gamers are LGBTQ. Not only that, but most gamers think the industry has a responsibility to be more inclusive. And most gamers do not think the game industry thinks about people like them. Now, I don't know where they've gotten all this data. I assume that it's whoever subscribes to their stuff, like to their website, because on their website it says that LGBTQ gamers are 2 times as likely to believe that major video game companies did not think about people like them. Well, I mean, those stats are probably pretty skewed, but it's like an odd thing to worry about, I think. But maybe that's just me. Like, I don't really know if, like, I just feel like this is kind of one of those things where, like, if you consider gaming a big part of your personality, and you're also, we'll just say, gay, because I know there's a bunch of varieties of that. I mean, I bet you do feel like you're not included that often, because that's all you think about is those two things. So I've never thought about, like, am I represented in a game? No. I've seen myself in all kinds of characters, so I don't really know why this is such a big thing for them.
Yeah, I mean, I was like kind of taken aback by the fact that they said like 1 in 5 gamers is LGBT. I was just surprised because I believe it was, Generation Z is like, the most LGBTQ, and then as you get like older generations, the less and less of that, the less and less of those people are there, in those populations. Yeah. And I believe it's like only 10% of Generation Z is like supposedly, LGBT. And I do not believe this like 20% number, this like 1 in 5 number. I mean, maybe I can, understand it, because I guess, I think if you're like into video games, there's still like a subculture. So I think if it would probably be more likely that you are, one of those things, but
sure.
Yeah. And also I think it is a little weird to hyper focus on like how much inclusivity do you have and all that sort of stuff. Like, during anything, even during the hire, like if you want to go like during the hiring process, I think it's really dumb that they have like some companies will have you like check a box on like what your sexuality is, and I'm like, bro, why do you want to know that?
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird to me,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I don't know when it like
and
mattered so much.
Yeah, if you said they a lot of them believe that game companies don't think about them.
Yeah, that's what it says in the report.
I mean, all companies don't really think about their customers. They think about the money, bro.
No, and I mean, of course not. And I mean, not to get like too political, but it doesn't really matter what you think on this. If you take like just the Bud Light stuff, for example, if you listen to all the interviews, especially from that woman that came up with the campaign with Dylan Mulvaney in it in the first place, you can kind of tell like the distaste they have for a lot of their consumers. Like, and there are companies that do this on both sides, but most companies, at least the employees, tend to lean more left. And, I mean, it's just not a surprise to me that gaming would be the same way. Like, I'm sure most people that work at Blizzard in California, if they saw, like, someone here driving a giant truck and they're white, I'm sure they just would be like, I'll never talk to that person.
And their Trump flags.
Yeah. If they saw the Trump flags that were up around here, they might have a heart attack.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those cases where they're hyper-focused on, just whatever they identify as. And they're like, it needs to be in everything I do, everywhere I go, everyone I know. Hey, that was a nice little rhyme. They all have to be aware of this. And this is just kind of one of those instances where I think they're just extending their political stuff and their personal stuff into gaming, which I don't really like any of that cringe shit in games or movies or anything. So, I think this is kind of a waste of their time, but I'm sure they get... Oh, yeah, they live off donations, it seems like. maybe next episode I'll look more into Glad, because I know Glad's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
They have done things like harassing the Boy Scouts of America. They have they've been known to pull like some PETA stunts, from what I remember. But I don't want to say too much until I look more into it. But yeah, it's just as like a source of truth. I just don't think that's it. I wouldn't go to CNN to find crime statistics, okay? or MSNBC. And I wouldn't go to Fox News to hear about how bad Trump is. It's just like they already have their slant, and they're not going to give up on it. It's the same thing you get whenever you see those surveys on college campuses where it's like, they say like 3 out of 4 women in college have been, SA'd or whatever. And like on their survey, they ask you like, has a guy ever kissed you whenever you maybe didn't want to yet, like, or something? And it's like, yes. And they count that as like, essay. Or they'll be like, did a guy ever touch your thigh when you were on a date and you weren't ready yet? And if they say yes, it's like, that's also essay. So, I'm sure however they ask these questions, it probably wasn't very fair or balanced or anything like that. So, I'm sure this is all fucked up. But I've been reading through it while I'm sitting here, and it's just the same. It's just the same stuff that you would expect. 22% of all characters and people of color are only 20% of that's represented in games. So they've grouped in anyone of color and any women into one group and said only 20% of characters, which can't be right. Not from like League of Legends and stuff that I've played. And they're talking about games that came out in 2017. Out of the top 100, yeah, that can't be right. And then less than 30% of LGBTQ characters are playable. So, I mean, I somehow doubt that as well. But I don't know what they're really advocating here, because it says only 30% were LGBTQ, but then they said that 20% of gamers were LGBTQ. So is that not representation? That's 10% more representation than there are gamers, right? So I just don't understand. And then here's what they're really mad about. White non-LGBTQ gamers are 15 to 23% more likely than non-LGBTQ gamers of color to avoid buying or playing a game after learning the game's main playable character is LGBTQ. I have no issue saying this. I'm one of those people. I don't have an issue with it if you want to make a game like that, but I do have an issue with you trying to make me play a game like that. I just don't want to. I don't want to play a game with a main character that's LGBTQ. I don't know. It's just it's because you just know the whole game is going to be about it. The whole game.
Yeah, well, specifically though, I mean, if it's like, let's say a game, where the main character is like I don't know, what do you even call this? Like a person of color who's a woman and she's lesbian. It's like, in my opinion, like that's just, to me, like I want to play as someone that that I can see myself as, and I just don't, and I don't see that. And I don't think I would say most men are not attracted to, people who have purple hair. I mean, it's true. I know. No, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if a woman has like short haircut and like that's like on the box art, it's like, most men are not going to, be into that. If it has like a woman who has like long hair and her boobs are out, then well, it's a different story. But most of these games have like characters that are like that. that's why I think like the best games to come out have it to where you can create your own character, you know?
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. I mean, sure, helping seeing yourself in a character matters. I mean, here in their little survey, it says 72% of the. I'll just say the rainbow community say seeing characters with their gender identity or sexual orientation represented well makes them feel better about themselves. I'm sure it does. Doesn't it make everyone feel better about themselves to have yourself affirmed? So yeah, I mean, it's just an odd. It's just an odd, like, thing. I don't know why they care so much. It's not like I'm losing sleep over this. It's just this thing comes off as kind of bitter because they kind of basically say too. They're like, you know, they're like, we have more power. Our allies and us have more power than our detractors, and it's like, okay. I'm sure that's the case because a lot of gamers, they used to not be, but a lot of gamers are pretty accepting and really just don't give a shit as long as the whole game isn't a political fuckfest.
Yeah,
it's just I don't understand. I don't know. It's just an odd report. Maybe I'll have more to say about it if I like really take a look into Glad some more, but it's just strange. It's just strange. I don't know if I really have anything else to add to that.
I completely forgot what I was going to say. You know, people, they'll say, like, oh, I don't really care about the, you know, whatever, you know. Even if it affects the story, as long as the gameplay's good, I don't really care about the message or whatever, but it's like, at some point, you know, the message starts to infect everything, and I think, especially with, like, you know, games like Suicide Squad and Spider-Man 2, they really, like, tried to push a lot of that weird stuff in there, and it was just, like, at some point, like, it was, like, I believe in Spider-Man 2, you had to deliver a, like, letter from a male character to his, like, boyfriend, and I was that to me I was like, why even have that as a side mission? I don't know, it's just, you don't have to do it, of course,
so weird.
but
I don't know.
I was like, why? Just
see, it's so strange. Well, and that's the thing is I don't know how to describe this very succinctly, but in every piece of media that I've ever played or watched or enjoyed, as soon as the people come out as like hyper political, it immediately like ruins it. Even like a lot of things on the right side, like some of the Daily Wire stuff is really fucking cringe and like unwatchable. Some of the, you know, like I was watching, or I was gonna watch the One Piece live action, and the director said that Luffy is like Kamala Harris. And I'm like, really?
what?
And then the show is kind of looking. I need to watch it, but like I'm sure I'm gonna roll my eyes a lot. Same thing with it's just, I don't know. It's so strange. Whenever you start adding in all these politics, you start to lose the plot of the story. Like you start to focus on like that. What was that movie, Robin Hood, where it was like the poor black like rappers and stuff that dressed up in neon, and like the whole story was like they were stealing from the white rich dudes or whatever in the richer part of town, and it just sucked. It was a horrible fucking movie because everything was about how they were black and oppressed and needed to like steal, which is a very, I don't know if that's like going full circle like back to racism or not from the director, but yeah, it's just very strange.
Yeah, like specifically, I remember watching like Lady Ballers. It was like, at some point, it was like, okay, we get the joke, you know.
Yeah,
and it
we
was
get
like
the joke.
2 hours. Yeah, it was a little cringe, not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. I think I was high while we watched that.
It was a good meme. Yeah,
that might have been why it was so funny.
Yeah.
But it did go on. As soon as my high wore off, I was like, this is way too long. That movie could have been like an hour. I think we've beaten this dead horse.
Yeah, I think we have.
Yeah, I guess we'll just move on since we're talking about regrettable games and games that we wish we could go back on. We need to talk about pre-orders. They used to be real big back in the day. I guess they still are. But they used to be real big. And we stopped doing it. Goodness, I don't remember the last game I pre-ordered. I would have to look. It'd probably be more recent than I thought.
It was probably Overwatch, right?
Yeah,
No,
I would say so.
I mean,
Take it
for me, I pre-ordered Battlefield 2042, and that was not a good decision. I regretted it. I tried to get a refund. Of course, they didn't. Steam was like, no, you can't get a refund. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm screwed.
Yep.
But yeah, after that, I've never pre-ordered anything. I don't think I ever will. Just because, I think pre-orders were bigger back in the day because physical media was a thing. And, nowadays physical media it's still there. You can still buy like Nintendo Switch games and other things like that at GameStop. I mean, you can even buy the disc for games at GameStop. But I think, for the most part, people are just... they just prefer the convenience of pulling out their credit card and buying something online than having to drive to, GameStop and do all that.
Shouts out to GameStop.
Yeah. I mean, or like EP Games or whatever, or even their local store. If you have one. Which, honestly, if you're fortunate enough to have like a nice local gaming store, that's sweet, dude.
Dude,
and one that's like not focused on retro stuff, because that's usually what it is like retro stuff. But yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we pre-ordered COD Ghost, which was, I don't know. I think COD Ghost was a little better than what we thought it was.
I don't think I ever regretted that. I never hated COD Ghost that much. And I think especially nowadays with seeing like what COD could actually, like how much worse it could get, I actually don't think it's that bad.
Yeah. I mean, same here. I think that's... If we had a game release like COD Ghost nowadays, people would be like praising it, dude.
Oh yeah, of course. They'd be like, oh my god, there's no microtransactions. Oh.
And it's complete at release.
Holy fuck! And all they release is just maps. Oh lord. Actually, I have a dark take that maybe people wouldn't like it because they'd be like, "How is it? There's not enough content. There's not enough for me to spend."
Yeah, what about the seasons, bro? What about where are the skins at, dude? Where's the store, bro? Yeah, I think a lot of like the newer Fortnite people would probably agree with that, or like they would have that mentality. Because I've you meet a lot of young people and they'll tell you, like, especially younger gamers, they like eat that shit up. They love like the battle passes and the seasons and skins. I'm like, oh my god, that's not what gaming is, dude.
No kidding, dude.
It can be so much better. Turn away now.
Exactly. That's why my new top game is Placid Plastic Duck, okay? No. By the way, I was just looking right now while I was listening to you. There is, apparently, if you play the game long enough, apparently they do let you control a duck eventually, which is pretty positive. Anyway. So, do you regret COD Ghost, though?
Probably not, actually. I mean, I think back in the day I would have said yes. But nowadays, I mean, yeah, COD's been COD's been degraded so much worse than what COD Ghost was.
Yeah.
Because COD Ghost was like off the heels of Black Ops 2. You know, the community was like huge. The competitive scene was, just getting started at that point, and COD Ghost was just a different pace compared to what Black Ops 2 was. And I know a lot of people really liked COD Ghost because it was, so different.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people hated it. But I think nowadays, it wouldn't be my top pick for a COD game, but it would definitely be like maybe middle of the pack, maybe even a little bit higher.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say probably about middle of the pack. We were talking Overwatch, and
Oof.
I think that I don't know if I regret pre-ordering Overwatch, to be honest with you. I was subscribed to like the BlizzCon, or I paid to like watch the BlizzCon or whatever that year because I was really into Hearthstone, and they offered like a pre-order bonus for Overwatch. It was like it was like buy Overwatch $40 and you got like a bunch of stuff for all the other games. And then I thought Overwatch was good. I will say I guess it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, because I remember you and I only played it for like a few weeks and then stopped.
Yeah, we played for a few weeks and then...
And we didn't even play that much either. It was like a couple of hours a day or an hour a day, if even.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first few matches were really fun. I think it might have been like one of the first games where I really experienced like skill-based matchmaking to like how hard it was, because I remember the first couple games we played, it was the beta, and so like a bunch of WoW people were playing it, and people who had like never touched a FPS game, and like I just absolutely dumpstered, got like 30 limbs on Winston, and I was like, yo, this game's sick, dude. And then I had like a good game with Roadhog, and then after that it was just constant like sweat for the most part, or people who are like on my same level. I feel like it was, I don't know, there wasn't as much variety as I thought there would be.
Okay.
I enjoyed the game, before it became Overwatch 2. I did play like quite a bit of Overwatch 1 whenever they announced Overwatch 2, and then after that I don't know, I never really... I think we played Overwatch 2, and we were just like, yeah, this ain't it. And we never played it again, so...
Yeah.
But I think the original I never pre-ordered, but I bought it like day one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Didn't we did pre-order Smash Brothers, right?
We did, but I don't know if
Ultimate?
I really regret that. Yeah.
No, we don't regret that. That was.
I feel like Nintendo games are kind of an exception.
Yeah.
Maybe that's becoming less so over time, but I still think like Nintendo games are an exception, because whenever I think of like regrettable pre-orders, and these aren't ones that we've made, I think of like Watch Dogs or Cyberpunk or like Battlefield 4 whenever it first came out. Mass Effect Andromeda. There were a bunch of games that came out like a long time ago. Deus Ex, Mankind Divided.
Oof.
Let me see. I really have to refresh my memory because it's been so long.
I know Destiny 1, whenever it first came out, was pretty rough.
Yeah, Destiny 1. Yeah, I'm thinking real old stuff.
Yeah.
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Oof. Oh, no.
Batman Arkham Knight. I mean... I don't know if buying... Did I buy Tekken 8 early? I might have bought it like the day before. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's the
But
thing. I mean, with like pre-orders, it's really risky, and you gotta like, I think you really gotta like research the game before you
oh
pre-order it,
yeah,
because like
I'll,
even the worst Tekken games are still like pretty good. So I feel like pre-ordering like Tekken, or even like pre-ordering like something like Mario or Zelda is like a pretty safe bet.
usually. On the flip side, there are games like that I haven't regret pre-ordering. So I remember whenever our grandpa was still alive, I took him into a GameStop, and obviously he was still alive. And we were buying one game. I can't remember what game I bought. God, it was a DS game. I can't remember, but I do remember that they also pressured him into pre-ordering the re-release of Mario 64 onto DS. So it was the DS remake of Super Mario 64, and our grandfather was like, "What the hell is this? The game isn't. I didn't even get a game. I paid for something that doesn't even exist yet." He thought it was ridiculous. And I would say, honestly, I played that game, the remake, on like the DS for like at least 200 hours. I really, really liked it. And it was a fantastic remake. It had a bunch of characters you could play as, unlike the first one. It had like extra content. I thought it was a pretty good purchase. That's probably my best pre-order.
A lot of people would disagree with you on that. I know a lot of people do not like the 64 remake, just because
on the DS.
On the DS, here's the thing: if you play the 64 remake on a 3DS, you can actually use the D-pad that the 3DS has, but on the original DS, you only had the D-pad. So, and the D-pad, it can work for 3D movement. It's just a lot rough. It's a lot more rough.
Well, if I went back and played it, I'm sure I might have a different opinion. But
yeah, I mean, but at that time, yeah, it's probably pretty good.
And I didn't mind it. I was still younger. I was probably I don't even remember, 13. So shitty controls were not an issue. Same reason I like the Shadow the Hedgehog game, but you go back and play it and it controls like fucking butt cheeks.
I don't know. I think we've said enough about pre-ordering games. You shouldn't do it. Do not do it.
Don't do it. The times that it has worked out for me is maybe 1 out of 20. I much rather would have waited until they fixed the game, or until they, now that I have a PC, until they discount it mostly.
Yeah.
A game that you and I never really got into, but was kind of always on our radar, and the one that they're going to port to everyone's graves, and they're going to port to Neuralink, and they're going to port to your Teslas, is Skyrim, of course. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. Everyone's going to play it. Whenever you're dead, you're going to play it. And yeah. What do we think of it? I don't care for it. But it is one of our topics because we figure we finally talk about it.
Yeah, we've wanted to talk about it and share our opinions on the Elder Scrolls 5 for a long time.
Yes, especially because ours is such a hot opinion. It's not that I think we don't dislike it because it's a bad game. I think we just dislike it because it's an RPG.
I disagree with that.
It's very boring to us.
It is. To me, it is very boring, and it's also pretty story focused. There's a lot of characters that you can meet and stuff like that, and you can do a lot of side activities, which in most games that do that, I just tend to just stick to the main meat of the game. And for me, I've also heard that I watched I think it was an hour-long review for Skyrim, and the guy said that if you don't mess with the magic system, and all that, like, sorcery or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
your experience is like really negatively impacted. And
Mm.
for me, like, I always like to play the two-handed like axe wielder or the two-handed sword, or
Yeah,
like
I mean, you and me both.
maybe like a sword and a shield and like become like a tank or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah.
so I picked the two-handed, and I just found that, like, most enemies just went down with like a couple swings, or it just wasn't fun. The gameplay wasn't there for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a very engaging game.
I just never got how people like got sucked in and would just play
So,
hours and hours.
so you just thought you just killed things too easily?
I just thought, like, the gameplay was just me like looking at enemies and clicking.
Fair enough.
It wasn't fun.
But then let me ask you this: did you feel like too there was a lot of space in between doing things? Like, I just felt like there was a lot of empty space.
Yeah, it's just a lot of walking. I mean, that's like any open world game, and I don't despise games that do that. Like, for me, Breath of the Wild was one of the best games to ever, come out, and I played like so much of it. I 100%ed it just because I love the open world that was there, because it did have a little bit of empty space, but even in that empty space, you still had like a couple of the Korok seeds or a couple of things to do. Like, you always had side activities.
Yeah, and it was certainly enjoyable. I don't know if I feel like they struck a good balance in that game.
Yeah, I think a couple of the Assassin's Creed games are like pretty good at doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
Although they can get kind of crazy with it, where they just spam like boxes and chests and different area events. I was like, oh my god, it's a little too much.
Well, you don't love that? You don't like getting spammed up?
No.
Yeah, it was just a lot of blank space to me is how I remember Skyrim. A lot of blank space, and then like you would meet an enemy and the combat system was so shit they would just like kind of either fuck you up or you would just fuck them up easily. I never felt like I had like a challenging fight.
Yeah, I mean, the music's okay, I guess. That's the only thing that I enjoyed. Was the music.
The music is pretty fire.
But yeah, I think we covered our Skyrim, our scorched earth
Skyrim
take.
Quotient. Yeah, just our typical gripes with RPGs. Too much open space. Combat system sucks, and the music's usually pretty good. That's usually how we feel about RPGs. Most of them are like that. Even Cyberpunk is like that, and I speak from experience.
Yeah, but I mean, every time I've shared that about Skyrim, people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
So
I'm like, dude, like, bro, it's a video game, dog. It's not your personality, dude.
Dude, that's what you think, brother. It's everything about me.
How dare you criticize my favorite piece of media?
Well, if you criticize that, you criticize me. Yeah, just a shit.
But yeah, I mean, on to our next topic.
Yeah.
There's a new Game Boy game releasing. I know the Game Boy is a very relevant console.
It is.
It's called Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution. Now, I thought this game had come out. Maybe I'm thinking of, like, I know there's Shantae Half Genie Hero. Maybe that's the game that I'm thinking of.
Well, don't forget it. It is 1990 right now, so the Game Boy was actually just released. No, I'm just
Oh yeah, sheesh.
Oh wait, no, this is an advanced only game. Sorry, it's 2002 right now. So
yeah.
I
just got my SP, and I'm really enjoying the fact that I can flip it out like a flip phone.
Yeah,
It's really sick, dude.
So what happened is this game got lost to time. It was announced and it never came out. So, you know, I know a lot of people like Shantae. I don't think Ben and I have ever played one. Sorry, Kirby and I have ever played one.
That's fine.
Exposed. Yeah, our first one was fine.
Real name, right?
But right here, right now, on this website, you can. It looks like it's coming to Switch, is what it looks like. As well, it's already came to Switch even. But there's this website right now where you can buy it on a physical Game Boy cartridge. You can get a collector's edition with a gold cartridge, or you can get the normal edition with a purple.
Yeah. That is sick though. Like,
it's pretty cool that they decided to like unbury the game and release it. I think that is sick.
Did they like partner with Nintendo to make those cartridges, or are they just making them like without Nintendo's permission? Because usually, like, whenever you reproduce a game or make like basically Nintendo owns like the rights to that cartridge design, and so you usually have to consult with them first before you make anything with that design or whatever. So
yeah.
I wonder if they just like are making it. Or
honestly, from everything I can tell, I mean they're using an old school like box too.
Okay. Well, I guess they did. Yeah, I know.
I don't know though.
Shantae, I know me and you need to play Shantae. Like, we need to, because it's like right up our alley. It's like a 2D platformer, and I love platformers, and so does Meta.
Yes.
So we got to play at least one of these games. I've seen quite a bit of like Half Genie Hero, which is like, I think it was the newest release, but I guess this but
it seems official, by the way. So on their webpage, it has been posted that they're making it. I imagine that Nintendo's probably getting a cut on every cartridge or something. I'm sure there's some deal there. I don't know how like the rights on that work, but usually on like a copyright thing like that, you get a percentage if you use their design. But it's cool. I mean, it's fucking sick. Honestly, I'd be down to buy it. Fuck it, I'll probably get the cartridge. I mean, it seems like you can buy it on Switch, but that seems kind of lame. I have been tempted just to go back and just play my fucking Game Boy or like DS, honestly. Just go full Doomer on it and just stay, 10 years behind. Is that fucked up?
It's like 20, it's like 2042, and my guy's like, yo, dude, I just played Cyberpunk. That game is sick, bro. I love that game, bro.
Dude, I would love that. That would be hard.
I was like, yo, dog, I just played Tekken 8, bro. Tekken 8 is so good. It's way better than Tekken 12, bro. It's way better.
Yeah. That'd be so hard.
Anyways, speaking of Tekken 8, the developers had a live stream called the Tekken Talk, similar to the Combat Cast from the Mortal Kombat devs, but it's the Tekken version, and they were talking. Of course, we know that Eddie Gordo is going to be the first DLC character. They just sort of talked about his, moveset a little bit. They gave us a little bit of insight into, he's going to play like Eddie Gordo, pretty much.
Okay.
And they added a few quality of life features, so characters who have sort of like get stacks from attacking, like Eddie Gordo and Claudio, they have a little like a little symbol by their health bar that tells you how like powered up they are. And as well as during this talk, they told us that they're going to be selling in the Tekken store. They're going to be selling $4 character skins.
Yeah,
and
yikes.
They're going to be updating this store, I think, throughout like every season and adding in more skins. So for season 1, I think there's a $4 like Xiao Yu skin. And with this store, it's very similar to other things where they do
Give me a sec.
where they give you like fake currency, right? So like it's like 400 Tekken coins or whatever they're calling it, and 100 Tekken coins basically equals $1. I think in general this is like pretty fair pricing. It would be nice if we could get the skins, free, but they said that the money that goes towards or the money that's basically spent on the Tekken store will be going towards like developing more modes, which I mean is cool, but I haven't ever played like Tekken Ball, or I haven't even played the story mode. I just never really cared for anything besides versus mode and online.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why. I think that's just the excuse they give.
Yeah.
And I get it that Bamco probably wants to push for some microtransactions because it works out great. As far as, getting extra money. Maybe that's a little doomer of me, but, and then they waited until after the game is released to kind of let everyone know that it's a feature, as they call it, a feature. And it's a little, it's kind of a little sour grapes to me. Like they've tricked us by giving us grapes, and they turn out to be disgusting. It's fine. Like the game's still gonna be good, I'm sure, and playable because it's not like they're selling power. But it is kind of unfortunate. I doubt they're gonna stick to their $4 promise. I have a feeling as the game continues, there's gonna be cooler skins, and in Tekken 9, I'm sure there's gonna be $30 skins that have flames and lights and just fucking an ADHD dream. Yeah. Just an absolute clusterfuck of
seizure mode.
Yeah, seizure mode basically. So it always starts with a small cut and then it ends with 1 million small cuts until the game franchise dies. That's how microtransactions work.
Never forget the horse armor that was $2.
Yeah, dude, fuck that horse armor. That was the beginning of the end.
That in Skyrim, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. In Skyrim, what was there, like a $10 thing? And then in Skyrim 6 or Elder Scrolls 6, there's going to be a $20, wagon skin that glows and has flashing lights. And
you're like, whoa.
Yeah. And every time you kill someone next to it, it sucks their soul in and it gets more colorful or something. I don't know, dude.
Oh, did you say sucked? Oh, yeah. Okay. Suspect. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
But yeah. I don't think the devs wanted to have a Tekken store.
Yeah, something tells me they probably weren't super keen on that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe that. I think they will stick to like $4 skins, but at least for Tekken 8, Tekken 9, they might up it, but
they might. They might. I can't imagine. I can't imagine them keeping it at $4. Well, besides that, just your normal fucking news in the dark age of gaming, where there's a billion updates for every game. Unlike Choquarium, the best game ever made. Battlefield 2042 Season 7, woo, coming out with more maps, and Season 6 is extended because they didn't. I guess the devs didn't get enough work done in crunch time, so they're gonna bring them back in. Make them suffer.
They got an extension.
Yeah, they're lucky they got to keep their lives. All right.
They were like, "Please, EA, please,
don't
stop
kill
crunching.
Us.
Stop.
Please don't beat me again." Oh, no.
I mean, they said there's going to be multiple maps with the season. They haven't revealed anything. I think they showed off like one image of one of the maps. It seems like it's like an Italian village, but of course, it's like in the future or whatever. So there's probably going to be more to it than that. Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to put this in here just so we can kind of maybe we can give our opinions on Battlefield 2042. Me personally, big Battlefield guy as well as Meta. We both played Battlefield 4. We played Battlefield 4 on Xbox One, mainly because we didn't really enjoy COD Ghost, so we went to Battlefield 4, and it was just so much fun. 64 players. It was, it was revolutionary at that time because, for many console gamers, we didn't have a game that had that many players on it.
No.
It was super fun. I mean, the vehicles were pretty balanced. And then with Battlefield 2042, it was announced, and I was like, "Yo, this is a return to form. I'm pre-ordering," and not a good idea. But we played the beta, and I was like, "Ooh, this beta is rough." And Meta canceled his pre-order, which was probably smart. I was like, whatever. I'll have a YouTube channel. I'll post something on it.
Actually, if you remember, I bought the game. I pre-ordered the game, and then I downloaded it, and I played it with you.
Oh yeah,
but I only played it with you for like an hour and a half.
and then he asked for a refund.
And then I asked for a refund because I had bought the Super Mega $110 Buttfuck Edition. And I got it back, and then I went back and I bought the base game for $10 whenever they were desperate for sales. So
yeah, and now it's like it's a little more polished, I'll say.
I have not played it since.
Yeah, you bought the game and didn't play it.
Yeah, maybe we will. Maybe we'll have to play it and give an updated.
We'll have to play it tonight.
Yeah.
No.
If you can get
I still have like this weird issue where if I'm like running and then I hit like a little bump in the terrain, it like completely stops my character. Yeah. And it's super annoying. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like specific maps that it happens on. I mean, it happens on a lot of them. But, yeah, I don't know. They still need to fix the, like, keyboard input. It feels, like, mushy to me. And, yeah, it's Battlefield 2042, whenever it released, I've always said this, but it doesn't have, like, good bones, And it's never going to top. I don't even think it's going to top Battlefield 5, in terms of, like, how good it is.
Yeah. I don't think so. Final Fantasy. Speaking of another 7, we got Season 7, and then we got Final Fantasy 7. Is this the remake that was like announced like 5 years ago?
I think it's
different.
I think it's another, like, it's a remake of the remake, if that makes sense. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I've heard a lot of like gaming YouTubers were really excited to play it, later this month. I think it's coming out on the 29th. And
this looks like that old one that was announced a while ago.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what it is exactly. I just know that it's pretty. It's it's been pretty hyped.
Gosh, all right. Well, I thought that other Final Fantasy game was released, so you might be right. This is probably a different one. Maybe not.
Oh, it is a sequel. It's apparently a sequel to the Final Fantasy VII remake. So it's a completely brand new game, but it takes place in that same universe.
Then you can tell whenever we added this topic, we were like, hell yeah. We'll figure it out.
Hey, figure it out, gamers.
Jesus. Fair enough.
That's sick, though.
We don't care too much about Final Fantasy. I mean, maybe you do, but...
Well, I mean, you know, I like 7, and I'm glad it's getting a sequel, because normally every Final Fantasy game besides 10 hasn't gotten like a sequel, because 10 got 10-2 and yeah, so it's nice that they're finally making a sequel, I guess, to one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. Even though it's an RPG and I don't like it.
You're like, oh my. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Something that we discussed last time on the pod, though, is we did mention the Rolling Rascals game, which was also a lot of times on these new games lists. I feel like I used to be a lot more plugged in, but now I just kind of find out last minute and then do like 10 minutes of looking into it. But for Rolling Rascals, we both downloaded the demo after we talked about it on the pod, and I think it's pretty good. I mean, if the game comes out with like a $30, $35 price tag, and it has like 20 levels or more, I'd probably pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, I played it. I enjoyed it. I think the only thing that's really hard to get into, I would say, was the controls, and it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Once I got used to it, though, it flowed really good.
Okay.
It took me like the tutorial level and playing the first level to like understand what I was doing. And I think that's just gonna happen because you have like the drop dash, and you can like kind of like homing attack in midair as well. Yeah, I mean, overall, once you get used to it, I mean, it's tight, it's precise, you know, giggity.
Oh, tight. I get what you're saying, because I did struggle with the controls for a little bit, and something I noticed quickly is like a homing attack on like an enemy that you can ride will like mount you on them, and then it took a little while to get used to, because it was different from Sonic. Different enough from a Sonic game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. I'm excited for it to come out, and whenever it comes out, I'll probably buy it, and I'll bring it up again, because I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm probably gonna keep an eye on it. It seemed really cool.
Yeah, I think I might have wishlisted it. Not too sure on that.
I believe I did as well. But once again, don't pre-order, folks. Don't do it. Don't do it. You can't even pre-order it right now. But
yeah, I do have it on wishlist.
Don't do it.
That's the one thing that I do like about Steam, is that you can wishlist stuff and you can see if it came out already or not.
True.
And also makes it easier if like I put Tekken 8 on there just so I knew whenever, you know, so I could buy it as soon as it comes out, guys. All right.
Guys, I need this game.
I need it, gamers. I can't survive without it. All right.
Morty. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it on like the new games and just general news stuff we wanted to bring up. I'm excited for the Shantae thing. I'm excited for Rolling Rascals. I know you're excited for Final Fantasy, although you probably should get the first one before you get the sequel.
I'm playing the original, brother.
Oh, nice. Yeah, see, we got stuff to play, brothers.
Gamers.
Yeah, I think we can mention the virus now on YouTube. Channel's probably not big enough to get flagged anyways, but
Yeah.
Did the big virus make things better for gaming? Or what did it save gaming? And I'll let you start on this one for sure.
Oh, I mean, I think the virus helped a little bit in the fact that a lot of games did get delayed, and a lot of things did get pushed out, so they got more time.
Yeah.
But as well as, like, I mean, some of the worst games came out after that year, you know? Cyberpunk, Black Ops Cold War, Vanguard, I mean, what else? Too many.
So, yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because everyone at those major studios was working from home suddenly. I mean, it's very possible that's what did it, but I don't know. But like the indie games or like smaller studios, they really came out of the woodwork to make some great games, and I think it's probably because they were, a lot of them live in more left-leaning areas, and they're probably forced to stay inside, and so they're just like, well, I'm going to develop a game then. Fuck you, That's kind of the vibe I got, and
oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people were like, they got stuck inside, and they were like, well, why don't I learn like a new skill? And they were like, let me pick up programming, and let me pick up, maybe drawing or like graphic design or whatever you call it.
During the pandemic was crazy. Some of the anime I saw was pretty good. Goodness. And like, take Placid Plastic Duck, the best game of 2022, obviously.
Oh my.
No, I'm just kidding. Bruh. My guy's so mad. It looks like a Unity asset flip. I don't think it is though. I mean, maybe the ducks are Unity and then he added skins to them.
Okay.
You don't think so?
No, yeah, he might have done that. The guy who made it probably is like a graphic designer, maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Now I want to make a game like this.
I mean, Chillquarium, Crab Champions.
Dude, I'm becoming such a big fan. Well, Crab Champs is good, but I'm becoming such a big fan of these, like, I don't know what you call it, like chill games. They're not even like clickers or like AFK. Oh. I guess they are kind of AFK games. But I don't know. I'm just starting to really fall in love with these games where you just kind of like let things just bob and chill, or fish swim around. A lot of them have to do with water. I don't know why that is.
Or like Stardew.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I always have loved indie games, but I think especially now, like, I really have zero interest in a lot of the bigger games unless it's like Tekken.
Yeah. I would agree.
So, overall, do I think it made gaming better or worse? I think it made it better because a lot of those major studios had real shit releases, and a lot of the indie? I was looking at this duck. That was funny. I was looking at this duck in this game, and it kind of looks like it has an Indian aesthetic. A lot of the indie.
Oh my god, it's culturally appropriating. How dare it culturally appropriate? It's disgusting.
As us bigots like to say, it's not racist, it's racial. Okay?
That game is woke. Alright.
Woke. I mean, there is a rainbow duck, so. Alright.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Anything else to say? Oh.
I think that's it. I think the Pandy made gaming better, and I'm kind of liking the way things are going now. A lot of the indie studios are coming up on a Tuesday, and a lot of these shitty AAAs are getting a little pushback. I don't think they'll ever go away, but they're getting a little pushback, so that's good. Yeah, that's all I got. Peace and butt grease, my friends.
Yep. Y'all, you guys have a good night, day, wherever you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
Stay sexy.